What's up, everybody? It's me, Mike Myers H2O, coming at you with another video. And today, I want to make a documentary about the real life version of the nun from The Conjuring. I'm gonna be working with the Conjuring, a few Conjuring videos, a few Warren museum items coming up in the future. I want to document on and talk to y'all about, tell you about the history and all that. So I thought it was something really different and something really popular. And Lorraine Warren are one of the most famous paranormal investigators, if not the most famous. So if you guys enjoy this, I hope you guys enjoy this documentary of the real life nun, Valak. It's also going to be split between the real life Valak and then Valak the nun, from The Conjuring. But there's two, obviously, fiction and real for both. And that's what I'm going to go over with y'all in this documentary. I'm going to show y'all see how everything is and do what everything I can. And yeah, so we're going to see. Stay tuned. This is about Valak. We're going to start off with Valak. So I'm going to do a little bit of talking, explaining, and then after this will be, the information, and all that. You'll get to see pictures and all that. You'll get to see them, what I'm talking about. Once I'm also talking about the story of them, and history. So Valak, is an actual demon. Solomon, parts of the Bible. It's not a nun. It's a child with wings. Again, I'll be talking about it, so you'll see what I'm talking about. And so, but let's talk about the nun now. Yes, Valak the nun is fictional from The Conjuring. We all know that. But some of y'all did not know there was an actual nun in, I think, England. Yeah, New England, that Ed and Lorraine Warren investigated, because there was this nun that was bricked stoned basically to death, like buried alive in bricks. And um and that's how she passed. So, and she was a nun, and then after that, her spirit comes back and always walks the church grounds of where she passed and she was stoned to death at, or bricked to death. True story. I'll be talking about it in the next part of the video. So yeah, this is just a really cool Ed Lorraine Warren investigation that actually happened. I have a few things, pictures of the actual, and so yeah. And the main video, the Conjuring investigation documentary, is coming soon, so stay tuned for that as well. So let's get into this. This was my intro of what I'm about to be doing next in the next video. So it's nun, Valak, two separate demon, and spirit. So yep, hope you guys enjoy. Stay tuned to the next part. The story in real life of Valak, the demon. Valak is a demon described in the Gontinic Gromiours, the Lesser Key of Solomon. In some versions as Yalek or Valak, and Thomas Rudd's variant as Value. John Wyer's Benotria Demonium as Valak. The Liber on Form Spirit Color Dolas and in the Manual of Demonic Magic as Valach. And an angelic winged boy riding a two-headed dragon attributed with power of finding treasures. Valak is listed 62nd in the Lesser Key, even by Rudd and the 50th by Weir, either version claiming that leads 30 legions of demons. Some manuscripts say 38. The miniature manual describes Valak as controlling 27 legions of spirits. The immune spiritum, dependent on the manuscript, ranks cooler as either 22nd with no note of how many spirits he commands, or in the copy found in the Foliger Shakespeare Library 22nd and the commanding 13 legions of spirits, all extinct and complete version of Officialium, Spiritualium, and Dolius, the 25th demon commanding 20 legions of spirits. The 1998 film Vampires features a character named Valak as the first vampire. So that's new. Valak appears in the Chilling Adventures of Siberian comic book series. Issue 7, young Edward Spellman, father of Sabrina Spellman, summons the demon at the request of Alphonse Louise Constant. Valak appears in the Hellboy box full of evil as a major antologist. The Conjuring 2, The Nun 2. These are all appearances of fiction, of the fiction part of Valak. But Valak. So that is pretty much it about the demon Valak, child on a two-headed dragon with wings. I'll have pictures. Alright, on to the next part. The real story and history of the nun. Now, the nun, obviously, we all know, is a fictional character. The 1970 encounter that provided the real-life story behind the nun. As it turns out, there are some truth to both of these storylines. Lorraine Warren was a real person. She was really a paranormal investigator who encountered presence in a church. Ed and Lorraine Warren first came into the spotlight after their intentional investigation onto the famous Amityville haunting, 1976. Lorraine Warren claimed to be a clever medium while her husband was a self-professed demonologist. And according to the Warrens' son-in-law, the Warrens encountered a spectacle nun while on a trip to the haunted Borley Church in southern England in the 1700s. According to lore, the churchyard's ghost was a nun who had been buried alive in the brick walls of the convent centuries ago after having had an affair with a monk. Lorraine Warren illegally met that ghost face to face at midnight one evening in the church graveyard and left unsketched. So that's basically the real life nun version in a courtyard, and Lorraine came face to face with the spirit in the graveyard in southern England in 1970. Lorraine Warden said it for herself. That is more about the spirit of the nun that the Warrens encountered in England. The couple's son-in-law, Tony Spera, tells that the nun's phantom bears resemblance to a real spectacle nun the Warrens encountered during a trip to the haunted Borley Church in southern England in the 1970s. After learning about a string of eerie events at the church, including bells ringing without warning, rumors of a headless monk thought to have left cryptic messages on walls, and a ghostly nun spotted walking around at night, the Warrens recruited several photographers to accompany them in a quest to capture evidence of the spirit. They ended up coming face to face with the churchyard's ghost, who was, according to Laura, a nun buried alive in the brick walls of the convent centuries ago after having an affair with a monk. I feel the presence of a nun in this church, Lorraine apparently told the group as they entered the church around midnight. Image of the bully nun caught on camera. If it was pitch black, there were no lit candles or lights. There were photographers snapped photos at 35mm camera with infrared film, when they developed the images. What appeared to be a spectacle nun was seen walking down the aisle praying. Was it in the Borley nun? Definitely could have been, says Sepper, who has run the Warrens New England Society for Psychic Research, or the possessed Raggedy Ann doll named Annabelle, which appeared in the Conjuring spin-offs Annabelle Creation, is on display since Ed passed away in 2006. Is the nun based on the experience? Sepper asks. I think Hollywood takes bits and pieces of different stories and puts them together. They couldn't just come up with the nun out of the blue. That was the rest of the story of the nun, the real life ghost. Hope you guys enjoy. Really appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Thank y'all so much. Peace out.